ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Soldier Field. Unseasonably warm evening here. The temperature got into the high 80s today in the Windy City. It was windier earlier in the day. Still a very warm 82 degrees. The wind has died down to 5 to 10 miles per hour. Possibility of thunderstorms later, but if they arrive, it should be after we're finished here at Soldier Field. Jay Cutler and the Bears will get the ball first. Philadelphia won the toss and deferred, so Chicago receives the kickoff from Caleb Sturgis. Down to Kadeem Carey. And he's stopped at the 23-yard line by Rodney McLeod. Jay Cutler, the Bears' all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns, now in his 8th season in Chicago. But despite the big numbers individually, the one-loss record with the Bears, just 2 games over 500, and for his career, including his time in Denver, 67 and 68. Now age 33, the oldest player on the Chicago Bears. Spot the ball at the 24. Jeremy Langford, the running back. And he gets belted behind the line of scrimmage by Brandon Graham, part of that front 4 in a new 4-3 look for the Philadelphia defense this year.
Well, Jay Cutler about the only Bear I recognize. New offensive coordinator, his 6th in 8 years. He's got a new feature back in Jeremy Langford, a whole new offensive line, and Zach Miller becomes his go-to tight end. A lot of change.
And not a great start for that offensive line that had its difficulty last week, and that continues as he gets blown up. Cutler on a safety blitz by Malcolm Jenkins.
Cutler will not last much longer with this kind of protection. Strong safety blitz. It's Malcolm Jenkins on the right side of your screen. Nobody blocks him. And when you turn your back to the defense, you better have him accounted for. And Logan Paulson, number 82, the ex-Redskin who just got here, failed miserably.
2 negative yardage plays for Chicago. Cutler sacked 5 times in Houston on Sunday and hit 15 times, more than any quarterback in the league on week 1, and that pass is too high over the head of Jeremy Langford, with Vinnie Curry putting the pressure that time on Jay Cutler.
Well, that's what can't happen when you're playing at home. You have to get this home field in the game to get them excited about making some noise against this rookie quarterback Carson Wentz. But those were 3 miserable plays, and it's a 3-and-out. Be careful with Sproles. The man is dangerous.
One of the great punt returners in the history of the NFL. 7 career punt returns for touchdowns. Pat O'Donnell in his 3rd year as the Bears punter. Short kick. Sproles got knocked down, or at least bumped by his own man as he fielded it. Fair catch after a 40-yard punt. So here comes Carson Wentz. We mentioned statistically one of the great debuts in the history of the National Football League. 278 with 2 touchdown passes. The only other rookie in the history of the league to throw for as many yards and as many touchdowns as Wentz without throwing an interception in his team's season opener was Robert Griffin III. He did that with the Redskins in a victory at New Orleans in 2012, and he threw for 320 and 2 touchdowns. And of course, it was RG3 at quarterback for Cleveland against Wentz and the Eagles Sunday in Philadelphia. Excellent starting field position from the 46. Wentz on target. Nelson Aguilar yanked down by Tracy Porter after a 9-yard gain. The offense around Carson Wentz. Up front, the stars are Jason Peters, the left tackle, an 8-time Pro Bowler, and Jason Kelsey in the middle. Jordan Matthews is their leading wide receiver. They're playing tonight without Zach Ertz, their featured tight end. He has a rib injury, and Trey Burton should see more action than usual for Philadelphia tonight. On 2nd and 1, Wentz on target again. Dorial Green-Beckham has the first down, and reminiscent of the opening drive last week against Cleveland when Wentz was 4 out of 5 and they scored a touchdown.
Like what Wentz is doing, he's in a no-huddle offense. He's using his dummy snap count to read the Chicago Bears defense. And he's picking them apart right now with his preparation again.
And what you talked about at the top of the telecast, the ability to change the play. Looking left, throws over the middle. Jordan Matthews, his first catch. He had 7 in their win against Cleveland on Sunday, and he and Wentz have formed a very quick, excellent connection.
Well, he sought his hot receiver and read the blitz. Well done by Wentz. 2nd and 6.
Doug Peterson, the head coach, calls the plays. He said the plan a week ago, coach, was to ease Wentz's way into the game, but he realized he didn't need to do that. This young man is so poised. The only incompletion on the opening drive last week was a drop by Matthews, who hangs on to that one and then gets submarined.
This is one thing you do on the road to quiet the crowd. You jump into a no-huddle offense, and it helps when you have a quarterback that has this type of preparation. But the crowd has not made their presence felt, and Wentz has set the Eagles up with a 3rd down and 3, and they remain in an empty backfield set.
Wentz 4 for 4 for 26 yards passing. Just a 3-man rush. Sproles yanked down short of the first down by Jacoby Glenn, the 2nd-year man out of Central Florida.
Philadelphia looks like they're going for this. Nice play by Glenn, an unknown corner. Made the team as an undrafted free agent from Central Florida, and one-on-one tackling against Darren Sproles in space, not an easy thing to do. Let's see if they run the ball behind Brent Selleck, their 10-year veteran blocking tight end.
Fourth and 2 for Philadelphia. Their first possession of the game at the Chicago 27. Wentz on target. Green Beckham banged down at the 20-yard line. Knocked down by Harold Jones-Quartet in a matchup of hyphens.
It's a slant route off the right side. Good location, and you see why they like Dorial Green Beckham. Size advantage on these inside breaking slant patterns. Always the winning edge. First down, Philadelphia.
Wentz 6 for 6. Sproles into the pile, hard to find at his height. This 5'6" and 190 pounds. Solidly put together. Here's a look at the Chicago defense. They think Eddie Goldman, 2nd-year player, will be a star. He's out of Florida State. Newcomers at the inside linebacker spots: Jarrell Freeman, a free agent from Indianapolis, and Danny Trevathan from Denver, where he won the Super Bowl a year ago. The only player who started the opener last year on the defense, who started this year in the opener last week at Houston, the safety, Adrian Amos. It is a Chicago team in transition, getting younger. Wentz down the middle and incomplete. Intended for Brent Selleck, who was behind the defense, but it was broken up just shy of the goal line by the nickelback Bryce Callahan.
What a great play. That's the old-fashioned sluggo seam. It's been around Philadelphia for a long time. You pump the sluggo at the top of the screen, and you try to vacate the free safety to get the seam. Watch him pump the ball. He moves the free safety, and that's just a great play by Callahan to put the Bears in 3rd down and 8. Can they mount a pass rush?
First incomplete pass of the night from Wentz by a fingertip. 3rd and 7 from inside the Chicago 17. Wentz caught. It'll depend on the spot, as it always does, as Nelson Aguilar got driven back by Tracy Porter. Crowd doesn't like the spot as they move the ball inside the 10-yard line. But no indication yet from the officials that it's a first down.
First down, Philadelphia.
Now they have. Sproles. Tripped up by Willie Young, 7-year veteran outside linebacker.
This is where Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, has been most effective. He's known as a bend but don't break coach. A lot of teams move the ball between the 20s, but they've had a hard time over the years against Fangio solving his red zone defense. They do a nice job mixing coverages, and they defend the run quite well here. Let's see if Philly can finish the drive.
11th play of the drive. They've taken nearly 6 minutes off the clock. Sharp contrast to the previous 3 years when they ran offense very quickly under Chip Kelly. Ryan Matthews flexed out of the backfield, got them inside the 5 before he was dropped by Adrian Amos. John, I was very impressed watching last week's game. Doug Peterson had never called the full game anywhere as a play caller, and I thought he did a terrific job last week.
No doubt, and it certainly helps when you have a quarterback that can fix problems. When there's a bad play, don't run it, fix it. And Wentz, for a rookie quarterback, has done a nice job of that. 3rd down and goal. Keep an eye on Beckham at the top of the screen. He has a size advantage in these tight red zone situations.
Wentz running out of time and banged out of bounds by Sam Acho. He had plenty of time but couldn't find anybody. And a big defensive play for Sam Acho, the 6th-year linebacker out of Texas.
That's what this defense is known for, good red zone defense. And you see Beckham, tight coverage from Jacoby Glenn. Nothing there on the scramble drill. That's good defense.
So an impressive drive. Stalls inside the 5-yard line. Here's Caleb Sturgis trying a 25-yard field goal out of the hole to the punter, Johnny Jones. And Philadelphia, for the 2nd week in a row, scores on its opening possession under Carson Wentz. Well, what do you do for an encore? You pick up right where you left off Sunday in Philadelphia. 8 out of 9 on the opening drive for Carson Wentz with completions to 5 different receivers. 13 plays to go 47 yards. They had the ball nearly 7.5 minutes. Settled for a 25-yard field goal by Caleb Sturgis. Sturgis will kick off with Deontay Thompson and Kadeem Carey back deep for Chicago. Thompson takes the knee. It's a touchback. Cutler and the Bears will try again from the 25. Back inside Soldier Field 14 years ago, they made major changes here, basically built a new stadium within what had been Soldier Field. They're trying to return the winning ways to this structure. Not off to a great start tonight in the home opener. Rough first possession for Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears, who start this time from the 25. Kadeem Carey, the running back, got just 1 carry last week for 4 yards against Houston. Then he got turned back after a 2-yard gain. Malcolm Jenkins up from his safety spot. Up front, as Coach mentioned at the top of the telecast, the Pro Bowl guards sitting in long surrounding the rookie Cody Whitehair, who never played center at Kansas State. They're looking for more from Kevin White. Missed his first year with a leg injury a year ago. Had 3 catches last week in his NFL debut at Houston. Cutler flush from the pocket, very close to the line as he threw a sinker in the direction of Kevin White. Covered by Malcolm Jenkins. Flag down behind the line of scrimmage. The referee is Jeff Triplett.
Holding, 71 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Josh Sitton, call for the hold. New look for the Eagles defense this year under Doug Peterson to a 4-3 with Fletcher Cox, one of the best defensive linemen in football, leading the way up front. Michael Kendricks is snapped down. They're playing a lot of nickel. He comes off the field when they go to 5 defensive backs, which tonight includes the rookie Jalen Mills, 7th rounder, one of the pleasant stories of their training camp. On 2nd and 18, Eddie Royal with some running room. Eddie Royal across the 40. And finally pulled out of bounds near midfield by Rodney McLeod, the newcomer to the Eagles as a safety, signed as a free agent from the Rams.
We got to be aware of Eddie Royal on these quick screens. Last year he caught a slew of them, and he's very good after the catch. And in a predictable screen down situation, Philadelphia failed to recognize it. That's a huge first down for this Bear offense. Keep an eye on Jeffrey. They love to take shots just outside the 50.
That's Jeffrey to the left of the formation. Tight to the line after a 31-yard gain. Cutler zings one. It is Alshon Jeffrey into Eagle territory and double teamed at the 30-yard line by Nolan Carroll and Malcolm Jenkins, a pickup of 22.
Got to exploit these matchups on the outside. Alshon Jeffrey against Carroll. They love that matchup. And you said it earlier, Jalen Mills is a rookie 7th round pick. He'll be at the top of the screen. They have to get the ball to this man, Alshon Jeffrey, to jumpstart this offense.
They have just 3 healthy cornerbacks dressed tonight. The Eagles, they're without Leotis McKelvin, who started last week but has a hamstring strain. Cutler looked like he's trying to set up a screen. Lost one. It's caught for another first down. Zach Miller, the tight end, inside the 20 and taken down at the 18-yard line. And all of a sudden, the Bears are finding a rhythm.
Say what you want about Cutler. Sometimes you don't even need to give him any blocking. Kyle Long got away with a holding call. There was no doubt about that. But what a throw from an awkward delivery by Cutler. This protection's got to improve, Sean.
3 out of 4 for Cutler. As was the case last week at Houston, taking a lot of hits. 5-man rush. A shovel pass ahead to Kadeem Carey. He got banged down at the 15-yard line by Jordan Hicks, the middle linebacker.
See the new coordinator, Dowell Loggins. He's Jay Cutler's 6th offensive coordinator in 8 years. He's taken advantage of the new rule in the NFL where the offensive coordinator can talk to the quarterback from the press box. Haven't seen a lot of coordinators take advantage of that. But Dowell Loggins, the former coordinator of the Tennessee Titans, calling the shots.
And a big call on 2nd and 7. Jeffrey caught the low pass, took it ahead for 2, and there's Jalen Mills, the rookie out of LSU.
They like him, Sean. Jalen Mills, I didn't know what he was at LSU. He played corner, he played nickel, he played free safety. He's filling in for Leotis McKelvin, and Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinators, last night sang his praises for a while. They like this young man. He's got the mental makeup to be a good one.
They were so pleased with his development in camp, they dealt Eric Rowe to the New England Patriots on September 6th. He was a 2nd-round pick a year ago. It's Eddie Royal lined up in the backfield. Goes out into the pattern. It's intended for him and almost intercepted. Broken up by Ron Brooks.
Brooks, the ex-Buffalo Bill, came to Philadelphia to join Jim Schwartz, who came from Buffalo himself. He undercuts this outside breaking route. Should have intercepted the football. Cutler got away with one there.
Jim Schwartz was not in coaching last season after serving as the defensive coordinator in Buffalo, of course, formerly the head coach of Detroit. They've signed, traded for 4 former Buffalo Bill defenders who are familiar with what Schwartz likes to do. 31-yard try for Connor Barth to tie the game, and it's no good. And that won't play well here. He's taken over for the very popular Robbie Gould, one of the great kickers during the last 11 years of the National Football League, the all-time leading scorer. He was cut in large part to save some money. You get what you pay for sometimes. Don't miss Kiefer Sutherland during tonight's halftime. He's going to show you the exclusive trailer for his new show. It's getting a lot of hype. Designated Survivor, which will debut Wednesday night at 10 on ABC. Carson Wentz marched the Eagles down the field for a field goal in their first possession. First 6 plays were all passes to start the game. First time the Eagles have had that happen in 11 years. Back to 2005, a game against Denver. They come out firing again to Jordan Matthews for a short gain.
Well, in the first series, they used a no-huddle offense, and they went with a no-back set. He threw a lot of high percentage underneath passes to the outside. I even saw him recognize the blitz off his left side. He got to his hot receiver. He brings Philadelphia into scoring position with a key 4th down conversion. 3-0 Eagles. Here comes Wentz.
Kill. And the play changed perhaps to the run for Ryan Matthews. And again, a good decision, as it's a quality gain and a first down, although there is a flag down.
Holding, 71 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
I know it's a penalty, Sean, but I like what Wentz did there. He read the defense of the Bears. He's going to see the free safety come down. Why would you run the ball to your left? He fixes the problem. He changes the running play to the right. Everything is communicated properly. They're asking a lot of Wentz, and he's delivering above the neck with great preparation and poise.
Under a minute to go in a fast-moving first quarter. And again, Wentz doing a lot of work at the line. Snapped it with one and gave it to Darren Sproles. Good cut. And he's back across the 20. Got blasted by Bryce Callahan.
That can't happen. This defense is set up to not let teams get the ball outside, especially when Darren Sproles is in the game. You cannot let Darren Sproles get on the edge or he's going to hurt you. Nice game by Philadelphia. It sets up a 3rd down and 9. Where is the first-round draft choice, Leonard Floyd?
He's number 94 for Chicago. Rookie out of Georgia, brought in to be a pass rusher. Slipped as he got out of his stance. And Wentz throws incomplete. Intended for Dorial Green-Beckham.
Well, Vic Fangio brought a corner blitz, and I have not seen him do that this year. You get Wentz in 3rd down and 9. Tried to say it earlier. Fangio isn't going to sit there quietly. He's going to bring some pressures that Wentz has not seen. Watch Glenn come from the top of the screen. It's a good thing he got rid of it when he did.
So Philadelphia will punt for the first time tonight. The veteran Donnie Jones in his 13th year. Eddie Royal, fair catch at the 35-yard line. And that is the end of the first quarter. A 43-yard punt by Jones. Tied at 3 on Monday Night Football from Chicago. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, John Sutcliffe back in Chicago. The score is 3-0. I incorrectly said it was 3-3 as we went to break, but of course Connor Barth missed the chip shot field goal. So Chicago still scoreless. 3 on the board for Carson Wentz and Philadelphia. That missed field goal, by the way, had the crowd as we went to commercial chanting Robbie, Robbie for Robbie Gould, one of the most popular Chicago Bears in recent years. Cutler, quick pass to Royal, breaks the tackle and gets 8. Finally chased out by Rodney McLeod.
He read that blitz right up the middle. The Eagles blitz Jay Cutler. He picks that ball up, fires it to the outside, and Mills in one-on-one coverage doesn't get it done this time. Eddie Royal, good to see him back, Sean. He missed several games last season. He's the best route runner on this Bears football team. Came up big last week in Houston. Off to a good start tonight.
There's a long history with Jay Cutler. They were together when they were both young players in Denver. Kadeem Carey, much more of a factor in the offensive game plan tonight than he was Sunday, taken down by Jalen Mills just short of the first down.
So far, the Bears offensive line has done a nice job against Fletcher Cox. Rookie center Cody Whitehead here. You have Kyle Long at right guard holding his own. Fletcher Cox went to his first Pro Bowl last year. One of the better inside pass rushers in football so far. They've neutralized him. Short yardage. 3rd and 1.
He was rewarded for that great year with a 6-year contract worth $103 million. 63 of it guaranteed, the most ever for a non-quarterback. They handed off to Paul Lasike, the fullback, his first carry of the year. The New Zealander who came to this country to play rugby at BYU, where he was an All-American rugby player, that never played football until he got to BYU.
That's good research there. Good work by Lasike getting it done. And look out there in that huddle at number 13, Sean. Kevin White, 7th pick overall last year, missed the season with a foot injury. He's healthy again. He has really struggled in the preseason. They've yet to get him going. And they just took White out of the game and put Royal in again at the top of the screen.
Shin injury in the preseason last year that required surgery. 1st and 10, Chicago. Cutler throwing one up for grabs. Alshon Jeffrey behind the defense and makes the catch down at the 5-yard line.
Double move by Alshon Jeffrey against the rookie, Jalen Mills. And it's a good thing Cutler had pressure because he burned him bad. Stutter go. This should go to the house. Mills took the cheese.
Ooh.
We said it in the top of the broadcast. They loved Alshon Jeffrey's matchup this week against Carroll and the rookie Mills, and they're going to exploit it until Jim Schwartz gets help outside.
You also said big part of their offense, have Jay Cutler loft it high in the air and have Jeffrey go up and get it. He did for a 49-yard gain. 1st and goal, Chicago trying to get on the board. Jeremy Langford stopped at the line of scrimmage. Michael Kendricks leading the way with help from Stephen Tulloch.
This Alshon Jeffrey in the red zone fringe, and anywhere he can just go up and get it. He's got great hang time, long arms, very athletic, and he has incredible line awareness. He knows exactly where the chuck is on the sideline. Keep an eye on Jeffrey at the top of the screen working against Nolan Carroll, especially in these tight red zone situations.
On 2nd and goal from the 5 to the corner of the end zone, and incomplete. Pass interference upcoming. Nolan Carroll had the coverage on Alshon Jeffrey.
You just feel it coming, and pass interference is a huge penalty, obviously, setting up Chicago with a 1st and goal. Let's see if
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal.
I thought Carroll grabbed him and held him.
And you are correct.
Good call. Is going to be heavily scrutinized all night. Tough call for these officials. It's not reviewable. And when you have a receiver that you know is going to get the ball in these confrontations, you got to be on your game as an official as well.
Langford back in as the tailback behind the fullback Lasike. Langford, touchdown Chicago.
That looked like the Chicago Bears of a few years ago. Good balance. They had a couple nice runs, a couple big plays down the field, and they get the ball in a goal line situation. They run right behind Leno at left tackle. Sitting 71, pulling at left guard. Lasike, 47, leads the way at fullback. That's good football right there on the goal line. Touchdown, Chicago.
After a shaky first possession, the Chicago offense is settled in. The line play more cohesive, and here's Connor Barth trying to bounce back after missing the 31-yard field goal. A little trouble with the hold. But Pat O'Donnell got it down. The mock cheer goes up. Rough greeting for their new kicker from the faithful here at Soldier Field. They love the drive. 6 plays, 65 yards. The key play, that 49-yard pass to Jeffrey. Nice start to the night for Jay Cutler. Now 7 out of 9 for 127 yards passing. Broke in with the Bears in 2009. Not only does he not have any teammates left who played for the Bears in 2009, there isn't anybody who was here in 2010 or 2011. Who's a teammate of Jay Cutler right now. A lot of new faces. They continue to try to turn over the roster and get them back to the playoffs, which they've missed for the last 5 years. Wendell Smallwood, rookie out of West Virginia, with a nice kickoff return to the 26-yard line. Carson Wentz, 9 out of 11 to start the game, but the Eagles now trail. Back in Chicago at Soldier Field, the Eagles and the Bears on Monday Night Football. Seems to be a classic-looking old-style stadium with that renovation 14 years ago. In many ways, it resembles a spaceship when you drive by. Bears leading 7-3. Carson Wentz under center on the first play of this possession. Ryan Matthews stuffed to the line of scrimmage by Willie Young. John, a lot of people around the country have never seen Carson Wentz play. Second overall pick in the draft out of North Dakota State. Taken behind Jared Goff. Selected by the Rams. Both of those teams traded up to get the quarterback they wanted. It was a spirited debate among NFL people which quarterback they'd rather have. The Eagles said with their evaluation, Wentz was the man they wanted all along, and they were delighted when he was there with the second pick. Here comes a blitz. He got drilled, but got it off. Selleck the catch, and Brent's out to the 46-yard line. There's a flag down.
You want to see a tough young quarterback?
Holding, number 62 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Kelsey gets called for holding, but you earn a lot of people's respect when you stand in the pocket and make a throw like this with Jarrell Freeman beating down on you. That's big time. Once again, Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, is heating them up in these obvious passing situations. That one got home, and Wentz is lucky to get up from that.
A holding call against the excellent center, Kelsey. Wipes out a 20-yard gain. Wentz never played on the road in front of a crowd anything like this. Setting up a screen. Low throw. Flag down. The ball's out. It's an incomplete pass.
This Jarrell Freeman came in here from Indianapolis. He was our pregame grinder, Sean. That's back-to-back big-time hits. I see why John Fox gave him number 50.
A terrific run with the Colts. Here's Jeff Triplett.
Personal foul, face mask, number 62 of the offense. That penalty is declined, resulting in plays third down.
Kelsey again, 2 penalties on this possession by the center.
Take a look at Jarrell Freeman read this screen pass. Brooks at right guard, number 79, better get on his horse. Back-to-back big hits. And this Bear defense is alive and well.
Largest crowd Wentz faced on the road was 26,000 when he was in college at Missoula, Montana, against the University of Montana. Conservative play call there. Sproles taken to the ground by Sam Acho and Willie Young. And the tide is turned on this Philadelphia offense.
And here's our friend Royal to return this punt. He has been very good on Monday night. I saw him a couple years ago take a punt and a kick back for a score. Got to put this ball between the numbers and the sideline. Do not give Royal a good look.
That was October 19th, 2009 for Denver at San Diego. A kickoff return and a punt return for a touchdown by Royal. Only 13 players have done that in one game in the history of the league. Donnie Jones punt. Travels 33 yards. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And by NFL Game Pass. Replay every game this season. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial. You're looking at Mexico City's Estadio Azteca, one of the iconic stadiums in the world, home to a couple of World Cup soccer finals, and it'll be home to Monday Night Football on November 21st. Matchup between the Texans and the Raiders. That game sold out in no time flat. They'll have more than 87,000 people there, and we're looking forward to making the trip. Chicago ball, 9:17 to go in the first half. Terrific field position from the Philadelphia 48. The Bears leading 7-3. Fake to Jeremy Langford. Cutler in trouble, and he gets yanked down by Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham came screaming around the right side. Massey at right tackle, who struggled last week, in trouble again without any help. Graham got a contract extension in the offseason. He and Connor Barwin have made the adjustment from outside linebacker to defensive end, and both of them love this one gap, get up the field scheme by Jim Schwartz.
And they played in a wide 9 defense 2011 and 12. Didn't work very well under Jim Washburn. On target, Kevin White. The receiver, Jalen Mills, takes him down. White to the Philadelphia 40, 2 yards shy of the marker.
Kevin White is a man they have to get involved in this offense. Has really struggled. He played on the right side at West Virginia, had a limited route tree, missed a year of football. They changed offensive coordinators. It's been a struggle in every area for the young receiver. Hopefully that gets him some confidence.
3rd down and 2, probably not in field goal range here for Connor Barth. Cutler incomplete. Intended for Eddie Royal. Jalen Mills running in coverage. And John Fox sends the punt team on. Pat O'Donnell on the punt.
You have to have a short-term memory when you're a defensive back. And Mills, who has struggled in the first quarter, makes a critical play in the slot on 3rd down. Give him credit. That's hard to do. Block out the negatives and just keep playing. Nice work.
That's what Jim Schwartz said about Mills last night. He's the kind of guy who can put a negative play behind him very quickly. He has a lot of confidence. O'Donnell trying to hang it up high. He did. And a fair catch made by Darren Sproles at the 12. 28-yard punt. Well, ever since Donovan McNabb left Philadelphia, they've been searching for the long-term leader of the Eagles at quarterback. Many men have tried. Kevin Cobb, Michael Vick, who was exactly 500. Vince Young, Nick Foles had some terrific moments. Didn't last that long. Mark Sanchez and Sam Bradford. Now it's Carson Wentz. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, Carson Wentz looked like he was going to be the number 3 quarterback and likely inactive for regular season games. But Teddy Bridgewater suffered the catastrophic injury in Minnesota. The Vikings needed a quarterback. They made the trade for Sam Bradford, and Wentz went from number 3 to number 1. They hand it off on the jet sweep action. And Josh Huff taken down at the line of scrimmage.
You know, a lot of things, excuse me, Sean, a lot of things I like about Wentz aren't with physical ability. It's his intangibles. It's how detailed he is, his relentless pursuit of excellence. He's demanding of himself and his teammates, and he holds everybody accountable. He has some luggage inside of him that's special, and those are the kind of things that all the great quarterbacks have.
Ryan Matthews, the ball carrier. Well, it's interesting. When we spoke with Fletcher Cox, the defensive tackle for the Eagles last night, you asked him the question, John, is Carson Wentz better than all the other quarterbacks who've run through here since you've been in Philadelphia? And his answer was one word: absolutely.
Well, he's got a lot to prove after one start. And so far, in this second quarter, the Chicago Bears have had his number.
After a nice start, the Eagles have stagnated. Wentz retreated into the gun on 3rd down and 5. Well blocked, and it's on target. Trey Burton, third-year man out of Florida with the catch, yanked down by Jacoby Glenn. They're looking for him to step up into a more prominent role without Zach Ertz.
Well, it's obviously an inside blitz. Wentz sees it all the way, throws another hitch to the outside for a first down, and Burton is a man they need to step up. He's had that calf problem the last couple of weeks. Good to see him running around healthy.
We talked to Doug Peterson last night. He said when he got the head coaching job in January, he watched film of the Eagles from a year ago, and one guy who didn't play much but stood out was Trey Burton. Wentz stepped up to avoid the rush, floats one down the field, and caught by Jordan Matthews. Beautifully done by Carson Wentz. Matthews chased out by Tracy Porter, and the Eagles are into Chicago territory at the 43.
That's a great route by Matthews. Play action pass, good touch over the underneath coverage by Wentz, but it's the pattern that Matthews ran that made that happen. Great work by the former Vanderbilt Commodore.
32-yard gain. Wentz steps into the throw again, incomplete. Jacoby Glenn had the coverage on Dorial Green-Beckham.
It's like Lamar Houston is hurt, pulling his knee. That does not look good.
Good news is Lamar Houston back on his feet, walked off the field under his own power. Leading sack man for the Bears a year ago.
An inside move, and he went down awkwardly. Let's hope Houston is all right.
I wonder if it's a head issue as he clanged helmets with Alan Barber, the guard. Darren Sproles ahead for a couple to the 41-yard line, and we'll tick under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Monday Night Football, the Bears and the Eagles from Chicago.
And on this 3rd down and long, the Chicago Bears have been very active with pressure. You see 94, Leonard Floyd checked back into the game. They brought him here to reignite this pass rush, and they've been silent on the edge tonight. Let's see if Floyd can rev it up.
3rd and 9. Carson Wentz caught. First down. Trey Burton again.
That should
three
be
career catches before this drive started. He has 2 on this possession for Philadelphia.
Excuse me, that should be a penalty.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 96.
Akeem Hicks
15 yards added to the end of the play. First down.
hits Carson Wentz right in the face. Carson Wentz has made 2 throws under intense fire. I can't believe. Freeman hit him on the last series. This time it's Hicks. This young man is tough. And that sets up Philadelphia in the red zone. And remember, Sean, this is where Vic Fangio of the Bears is very effective. They do a nice job getting off the field, holding you to field goals. But Carson Wentz has withstood a lot of hits tonight.
Play gain 14. They add 15 for the penalty. It's the second play from scrimmage that's gained more than 10 yards for Philadelphia. They've been dink and dunk. Wentz is a very good athlete. He can run. Oh, and he got blasted. Danny Trevathan.
He cannot ease up on the sideline. A lot of people thought it was a personal foul, but Carson Wentz scrambling to his left. Do not let up on the sideline in this league.
Amos and Trevathan from either side. Now that's reminiscent of the hit RG3 took in Philadelphia.
Broken
against the
ribs,
Eagles
yes.
last week.
Hurt his ribs in the preseason, and he's taking a lot more hits tonight, Sean.
Wentz had 2 hairline fractures of ribs, played in just 1 preseason game. Wow. What penetration by Willie Young. Kenyon Barner couldn't even get started for Philadelphia.
Well, they ran the jet sweep earlier, and the play got stuffed. This time they fake the jet sweep. They run a trap, and Willie Young isn't fooled by that either. The college jet sweep offense needs to be put on the shelf tonight because Chicago's all over it. 3rd down and 7.
Vic Fangio told us one of the keys to that is when you have your ends standing, they can see that jet sweep action coming. A lot harder when you're down in the stance. 3rd and 7. 2.5 to go till halftime. Wentz down the seam and broken up. Intended for Burton and flicked away by DeAndre Hall, the rookie out of Northern Iowa who played against Carson Wentz in college.
And that time they had Darren Sproles against Floyd, the rookie, one-on-one on a swing route. Nice work by Hall. DeAndre Hall had a nice preseason, had a lot of passes broken up. They love their rookie from Northern Iowa.
21 years old. It's a very youthful Chicago secondary. 29-yard field goal up and good for Caleb Sturgis. We're 2:27 away from halftime, and Kiefer Sutherland's revealing of his trailer for his new show, Designated Survivor, which will debut Wednesday night at 10 on ABC. Caleb Sturgis, after his 2nd field goal of the night, kicks off for Philadelphia. To Bryce Callahan and Deontay Thompson. It's Thompson from a couple of yards deep in the end zone. And he's down at the 13. Whistle sounding as the ball came out. I think John Fox probably wishes Thompson had stayed in the end zone. With touchbacks coming back to the 25, if in doubt, most coaches want you to stay in the end zone and down it.
Take a look at Jay Cutler. He's been sacked twice, but he's also gotten out of trouble and made some great throws. Here he is awkwardly finding Kadeem Carey on a check down, and then the big play to Jeffrey. There wasn't protection on either side of the formation. A lot of people around here think Cutler has been an underachiever. A lot of people think he's underappreciated. Nobody doubts his talent.
Jeremy Langford straight ahead. Where do you weigh in on that, Coach? Underappreciated?
Yeah, I do. I really think he's had a tough stay here in Chicago. When they had a good defense, he had a period where he won a lot of games. But when you have 6 offensive coordinators in 8 years, no Greg Olson, no Martellus Bennett, no Forte, so many changes around him everywhere, hard to judge him.
2-minute warning from Soldier Field. Back in Chicago, 2-minute warning. Both Carson Wentz and Jay Cutler completing passes for a high percentage. And without the help of much of a running game, Philadelphia's rushed for 21 yards. Chicago for only 10. Bears ball, leading 7-6. False start against Chicago.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Chicago Bears have to be very careful when they're behind in the down and distance against this Philadelphia Eagle pass rush. Vinny Curry, top of your screen. He's only played 30% of the snaps the last 3 years, but he's got 16.5 sacks. They got some real good pass rushers in this 2-minute situation.
Kevin White pulled across the sideline. Ron Brooks first there, had help from Malcolm Jenkins. You know, you talked about the injury to Kevin White last year, and they need more from him. At practice the other day, you made the observation, he looks slow. He says he's healthy, 100%. He ran a 4.35 at the combine, but he looks slow at practice.
Well, if you're going to play fast, you got to practice fast, and he's got a ways to go.
After a Philadelphia timeout, the Eagles want the ball back. Counting on the defense to get a stop on 3rd and 8. Little dump off to Jeremy Langford, and they do stop him short of the yardage. Jalen Mills and Nigel Bradham combine on the stop, and Philadelphia will use another timeout.
Nigel Bradham, the ex-Buffalo Bill, comes from inside out. Great effort in pursuit to make that stop. When the quarterback checks that ball down, you have to rally, and Philadelphia's underneath coverage. Very good.
Pat O'Donnell to punt. The Eagles should have good field position here. Darren Sproles waiting at his own 30-yard line for the punt. Sproles, fair catch, good kick by O'Donnell. All the way to the 26-yard line. 51-yard punt and no return. Coming up on the Toyota halftime, Chris Berman's final drive. Look back at some of the key moments from this past weekend of the National Football League and injury updates on, among others, Adrian Peterson and Jimmy Garoppolo. Boy, Garoppolo was on fire yesterday for New England for shoulder injury. Took him out with the Patriots leading 21-0. They held on to beat the Dolphins. And a nice start for Sam Bradford, the former Eagle in Minnesota.
Great win in your debut against a very good Packer team.
1:38 to go. One timeout for Carson Wentz and the Eagles from their own 27. The quick pop to Josh Huff. Or excuse me, to Darren Sproles.
Philadelphia has returned to their no-back set that they used on the opening drive of the game. They're spreading the Bears out. Keep an eye on Sproles in the slot. He's been dominant in these 2-minute situations.
This catch and run got them 6. 2nd and 4. Wentz over the middle in a triple coverage, and it's caught by Nelson Aguilar for a first down to the 49-yard line of Chicago.
Gotta hurry if you're Philadelphia. Great work escaping to his left. And that's the one thing that Wentz can do extremely well. He can throw the ball on the move.
Third catch for Aguilar. Wentz near side, diving catch. Well, Matthews thought he had it. The officials say no.
When the clock stops in these 2-minute situations, you have to be aware of the blitz. Let's see if Matthews
Nope.
got his hands under it. Good call by the official. But when the clock stops in these 2-minute situations, most defensive coaches are known to dial up the blitz. Let's see if Vic Fangio comes after the young quarterback. They've had success with blitz.
35 seconds to go in the half. One timeout for the Eagles. They're trailing 7-6. Wentz finds his receiver, a couple of clutches, and then he found Trey Burton, his third catch of the night, matching his career total starting the night. They're going to save the timeout and get up and spike the ball.
Great work by Wentz again, and Chicago just can't get there with a 4-man rush. Acho, Mitch Unrein, the rookie Bullard, and Floyd have been unable to get to Wentz in this no-back set. Credit Jason Peters at left tackle, 8-time Pro Bowler, Lane Johnson. Right tackle have done a nice job on the edges. Here come the Eagles.
Caleb Sturgis' career long is 54. Be about 52 from here. Wentz steps into the throw. Deep toward the end zone and incomplete. Dropped by Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews has had a problem with the drops, and you can't lay the ball in there any better. Got to come up with this catch.
Wow.
Hit him in perfect stride. Would have been a touchdown.
So he's had 15 drops in the NFL in 2+ years. That is just about average, but it seems like when he drops them, they're almost always in key situations like that one.
What a throw by Wentz.
13 seconds. The timeout still in their possession. Wentz might have been hit as he threw it. It's short of Matthews.
He's going to set up a long field goal. Very disappointing. Doug Peterson calls the right play. Wentz makes a great delivery, and Matthews cost the Eagles 6.
Sturgis 8 career field goals from longer than 50. This is 53. I mentioned his career-long 54. Whistle stopped the play. He missed it well to the right, but might have been impacted by the whistles that were sounding.
30-second timeout.
John Fox trying to give him a little time to think about it. That 54-yarder for Sturgis was indoors at Indianapolis in 2013. Wind has died down, but what little breeze there is into the kicker here. And Wentz and Matthews have become good pals. Talking about what might have been on a big drop by Jordan Matthews. For the lead, and it is good with plenty of room to spare. 3 seconds to go in the half. The Eagles back on top. Back on the shores of Lake Michigan. Caleb Sturgis kicks off after his 3rd field goal of the night. Bryce Callahan trying to find some space. And it's halftime. At the half, the Eagles 9, the Bears 7. Philadelphia gets the ball to start the second half. Now let's join Chris Berman with the Toyota halftime. Monday Night Football from Chicago, Soldier Field, the home opener for the Bears, and at the half, Chicago trailing the Philadelphia Eagles 9-7. Welcome back, Sean McDonough and John Gruden. The stats demonstrate a pretty even game. The one thing that jumps out at me is the Eagles' time of possession. Unlike the last 3 years with Chip Kelly, both weeks they've had a big edge. Last week against Cleveland and again tonight.
Helps their defense, obviously, but the story to me is Carson Wentz. There's a lot of people in Cleveland sitting there saying, now, why did we pass on this guy? He's been unbelievable. He's tough in the pocket. He's made plays on the move. He's audibled at the line of scrimmage. He came out in a no-huddle offense, no backs. He's done a great job. Had a big pass dropped by Matthews at the end of the half. Love to see Wentz come out with that no-huddle offense again.
It was Philadelphia trading up to get the number 2 pick from Cleveland to pick Carson Wentz. Cleveland apparently didn't think Carson Wentz was going to be a top quarterback in the NFL, and who knows, perhaps he won't be, but based on early returns, he'll have to like his chances. Coached by the former quarterback Doug Peterson, who spent 12 years in the NFL, mostly as a backup quarterback. Connor Barth kicks off to start the second half. Josh Huff back deep with Wendell Smallwood. Line drive kick. And after a moment's hesitation, here comes Huff. And he got it back across the 25. So it worked out. Didn't look good starting out. Bryce Callahan is not getting up for Chicago. Key player both on special teams and as the nickel on their defense. Second-year man out of Rice.
Callahan, an important member of this secondary. Sherrick McManus has been the backup nickel. Let's see if he's pressed into service. Callahan plays like a linebacker in the slot. These are hard men to replace. They're already missing former first-round draft choice Kyle Fuller. And here comes McManus in for Callahan.
And Kyle Fuller inactive for the second week in a row. He's recovering from arthroscopic knee surgery about a month ago. They're already shorthanded in the secondary. They'll put Callahan through the concussion protocol undoubtedly. It appears that it was a blow to the head that has him wobbly. And again, the league staff monitoring the video, making sure that if it looks like a head injury, they go through their procedures. And clearly that's what's happening right now. So here come the Eagles. 3 field goals on the board tonight and a 2-point lead to start the second half. Ryan Matthews trying to get the ground game going. Let's check in with Lisa Salters.
Hey, Sean. Well, I talked to Doug Peterson and asked him about why he did not ease Carson Wentz into this game the way he did in week 1. And he said he started off throwing the ball because he felt that Wentz could handle it. And he had felt good about it. And he said he really thought that it would help Carson and the offense get into a good rhythm. And it did that. About why the Eagles haven't been able to get the ball in the end zone other than that drop touchdown pass by Jordan Matthews. He said penalties. Got to eliminate those long yardage situations. Sean?
Leaning much more heavily on the pass tonight. It was just about a 50-50 split last week against Cleveland. Runs and passes called. Flag down. Wentz on target. Brent Selleck, the tight end, weaving his way out to the 42. But there is a flag down.
Illegal formation offense. The tight end was covered up by the wideout. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Very good half for Carson Wentz. He saw the blitz coming off the left side of his screen. Good recognition. He got to his hot receiver, and he showed excellent pocket mobility. It's hard to do this. Try it at home. Running to your left, throwing against the grain, and not many people can stand in there better. Great first half by Wentz.
Who was watching with great interest over the weekend when his old school North Dakota State beat Iowa. And he is sacked. Willie Young with the sack of Wentz.
Well, Lisa just said it. It's these ridiculous penalties that have put the Eagles behind in the down and distance, and it's allowed Chicago to tee off. You're going to see Eddie Goldman, Willie Young applying the pressure, and Barber at left guard. No match for Goldman, and Willie Young cleans it up. Third down and long. This is a screen down. Possibly another draw play. You got to be careful. Right here.
Philadelphia 3 out of 9 on third down. Chicago struggled on defense on third down at Houston Sunday. The Texans converted 12 out of 20. Wentz waving the receiver deep, throwing to a covered man, and it's incomplete. Intended for Nelson Aguilar.
Boy, Jacoby Glenn, I thought he got away with a PI there. Wentz took off on that third down and long situation. Aguilar saw his quarterback in trouble and took off. I thought Jacoby Glenn got away with a call here at the bottom of the screen. Referees letting them play tonight. That's a penalty.
He had his hands all over the receiver as the ball was arriving, it appeared. Here's Donnie Jones to punt. Had a terrific game last week against Cleveland. 2 punts of 68 and 72 yards. Fair catch made by Eddie Royal on this 55-yard boot. Back to the drawing board on the Philadelphia sideline. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. by the Campbell's Chunky Everyman All-Star League. Visit everymanleague.com. And by Cialis. Back in Chicago, Bears ball for the first time in the second half, trailing 9-7 from their own 29. Jeremy Langford turns the corner. First down, nifty run to the 45-yard line, chased out by Nolan Carroll.
I want to go back to that 3rd and 20 play because I'm still uneasy about this. This has to be PI on number 39, Jacoby Glenn. The ball's going to be in the flight. He's not playing the ball. He's pushing the receiver. 3rd down and 20. That should be pass interference. If I'm John Fox, I'm having a hard time. Excuse me, if I'm Doug Peterson, I'm upset about that call. Wow.
Play fake to Langford, and a nice catch in the flat by Zach Miller, chopped down by Nolan Carroll after a 5-yard gain.
Let's revisit Alshon Jeffrey. This is the time and place. 2nd down, normal situations. Right around midfield where Jay Cutler loves to target his big receiver. Jeffrey playing under the franchise tag. He's playing for a big contract. Once again, is Jalen Mills, the rookie out of LSU.
Jay Cutler swings it out wide for Eddie Royal. Breaks a tackle, has the first down, then goes out of bounds. The veteran Malcolm Jenkins couldn't get Royal down.
Got to be careful. When you have a loaded box, Jay Cutler is not going to waste these runs. He's going to pick the ball out of the back's chest, and he's going to flip it to the outside, and Malcolm Jenkins in a one-on-one tackling situation fails. Royal's slippery.
Another play fake. Cutler lost the football. And the Eagles have it. Destiny Vayo, a backup on the defensive line with a huge play for Philadelphia. Rookie out of Washington State, undrafted.
Jay
the
Cutler,
first turnover of the game.
Excuse me, 86th fumble. Ball security continues to be a problem.
On the Chicago sideline, after the fumble by Jay Cutler, they've been looking at his right hand. It looks like he's waving the medical people away, feeling that he's okay. He fumbled twice in Houston last week, got them both back, but that was his 86th fumble since he came into the league in 2006. Only Eli Manning has fumbled more often, and only once more. Wentz trying to take advantage of the turnover, and Aguilar couldn't catch the deep ball. Jacoby Glenn came back to break it up, but it looked like a ball that easily could have been caught by Nelson Aguilar.
Well, it's a double move. Wentz just didn't get enough on it. Stutter go on the outside, and Aguilar has a couple steps. Ball's underthrown. You got to credit Glenn with his recovery skills.
He got there to punch it away. Got in only one game last year as a rookie. Wentz, his pass batted down and incomplete.
Go back to the fumble by Jay Cutler. Right guard Kyle Long. I don't know if he's hurt, playing hurt, but he has struggled this year. He's on the ground, and Vayo with the big hit and forced fumble that positions Philadelphia in great field position. 3rd down and 10.
It has been reported that Kyle Long is playing with a torn labrum in his left shoulder. He told us when we visited Saturday that he's fine. 3rd down and 10 for Carson Wentz and the Eagles, leading 9-7 in the 3rd quarter. He ran away from Willie Young. He's across the line of scrimmage, took a big hit and stumbled forward. Jarrell Freeman in on the play.
Carson Wentz taking a lot of hits. Scrambling to his right. Got to get down and protect yourself.
McManus with the first hit. Fourth and 3, and the punting team is on. Donnie Jones with Royal back deep. I mentioned Jones had a couple of long punts last week. He also had 3 that wound up inside the 20, 2 inside the 10. This one will be very near the 10 with the fair catch made by Eddie Royal. 36-yard punt. 9:36 to go in the third quarter. The Eagles by 2. Next Monday night, we return to New Orleans for the Falcons and the Saints, marking the 10-year anniversary of the game that reopened the Superdome following Hurricane Katrina. What an emotional night that was. Our coverage next Monday begins at 6 Eastern time with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's. All the action on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. From the 11-yard line, Jeremy Langford, a couple of good runs here since the half after Chicago had 10 yards rushing in the first half. It's the worst starting position for either team in the game.
Jeremy Langford, what shoes he has to fill. The great Matt Forte, the New York Jet. Langford doing it all, running and receiving for the Bears.
Bears opted not to re-sign Forte. Langford gets a first down. That's big shoes to fill. Forte left Chicago with more than 8,600 yards rushing and 12,718 all-purpose yards. Both second in franchise history behind Walter Payton. They marked him just short of the first down, so this is 3rd and 1, and Langford has it. Bo Allen made the tackle, but it is a first down for the Bears.
Here comes some fresh horses for Philadelphia. Benny Logan. Number 90, Marcus Smith, former first-round pick, checks into the game. He has been very disappointing in his first 2 years in Philadelphia. Jim Schwartz going to some substitutes to keep his men fresh.
There's a warm night, as we mentioned. Temperature was in the 80s when the game began. On a reverse, Kevin White lunging and appears to have the first down. Nice run by the second-year man out of West Virginia.
Got to get this man going. We've said it a few times. It's a reverse. 4-3 he ran coming out of West Virginia. Don't know if he's all the way back, but he's made a couple plays tonight. Second and short.
Jordan Howard comes in at running back. He's a rookie out of Indiana. And a nifty run. They're starting to get the running game going here in the second half. Howard out to the 42 on his first career carry in the National Football League.
Just an inside zone. Take a look at the rookie center, white hair. Left guard, Josh Sitton. Good push, good movement. They're using all their backs tonight here in Chicago.
Young stable of backs. Langford, the old man, at age 24. Jordan Howard's 21. He stays in the game. And they try him to the other side. He was very productive at Indiana and at UAB. He was at Alabama Birmingham, and then they decided to discontinue the program, which they have since brought back. That's an 8-yard run for Howard.
Here comes Fletcher Cox. He's been awful quiet tonight, Sean. They've done a nice job neutralizing the Pro Bowler, and they need Fletcher Cox to create one of those negative plays.
58, Kyle.
He's got to cut it loose.
On 2nd and 2 from midfield, Langford dumped for a loss. Brandon Graham penetrated that offensive line.
Take a look at Fletcher Cox tonight. Sean, he's been quiet because the Bears have done a pretty good job. Long, white hair, sitting, using multiple blockers. Third down is 6.
Different player, as those numbers would indicate, at home and on the road. Nearly 8 full games now away from Philadelphia without a sack for Cox. Throw low from Butler in the general direction of Zach Miller. After moving the ball out near midfield, Chicago will punt with 5:35 to go in the third quarter.
Got to wonder if Jay Cutler's okay. He was taking a look at that hand on the sideline after the hit. That ball clearly off target.
And Pat O'Donnell will punt for the 4th time. Sproles with a flag down near where O'Donnell punted it. Ball down to the 22-yard line. Jonathan Anderson. 32-yard punt.
Holding. Kicking team, number 36. That penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
DeAndre Houston Carson called for the penalty. Tonight's Monday Night Lights. On Saturday, members of the Warren Township football team from nearby Gurnee, Illinois, had an opportunity to walk through Palace Hall. What a wonderful place that is. They went to Bears practice, met Kyle Long and many other Bears players. Coach John Fox got some pictures and autographs, and Warren Township, well, got their first win of the season. 46-10 over Lake Forest, and now 1-3. And many members of the team here tonight at Soldier Field watching the Eagles and the Bears. 1st and 10, Philadelphia. Carson Wentz on target. First down, Jordan Matthews across midfield and marked out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Chicago.
That's great design. They have Matt Tobin, a tackle playing tight end. They bring another tight end, Trey Burton, in motion. They fake the ball to the running back and come out with a bootleg to the right, looking for Selleck down the field, and it's just good design, good usage of personnel by Doug Peterson. He's using everybody that's available tonight.
22-yard gain. Wentz avoided the rush, takes it down and runs. A very good athlete. He got 5 yards on that scurry. Let's head down to the sideline, the Bears side. Here's John Sutcliffe.
Sean, Lamar Houston is out, left knee injury. Safety Adrian Amos is in the concussion protocol, and we've been told that Kadeem Carey, hamstring, questionable his return. And I'll keep an eye on Cutler's right hand. They're talking about it right now, right here.
Well, Chris Brzezinski, number 31, you see on the right of your picture, in at safety for Amos. Ordinarily, he's a special teams player, thrust into duty here tonight. Wendell Smallwood to the 30-yard line. At the very least, they're in field goal range. Harold Jones-Forte made the tackle.
With this quarterback, you can run any play you want. Carson Wentz reminds me of Alex Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Doug Peterson told us that last night. You can run the zone reads. You can run any play you want to dream up. He's athletic, smart, and he is extremely tough.
Nobody better positioned to make that comparison to Alex Smith, the Kansas City Chiefs, than Doug Peterson, who was the offensive coordinator there the last 3 years. Wendell Smallwood again for 5 to the 25, taken down by Willie Young.
I give Doug Peterson a lot of credit. That's another rookie, Wendell Smallwood. Trey Burton into the game. Here comes Kenyon Barner. He's using every man available. Everybody has a role, and it's really spiked everyone's interest. I like what I see from Doug Peterson, Sean.
He's been through a lot, particularly recently. First year as a head coach. the end of the preseason, just as they were getting ready to play their final preseason game on September 2nd, he got a call that his dad was just about to pass away. We'll have more on that, but first a timeout. Back at Soldier Field in Chicago, 3:16 to go third quarter. Philadelphia on the move, leading 9-7. And injury concerns on the sideline for the Bears. That's Harold Jones-Quartey, who just went out, one of their starting safeties. John Sutcliffe tells us now that Adrian Amos, the other starting safety, will not return with a concussion, nor will the nickelback Bryce Callahan. A lot of inexperienced players on the field right now for Chicago on defense. 2nd and 5. Wentz throws, caught. Trey Burton inside the 15 with a first down. Chris Brzezinski made the tackle, the 6th-year man out of Wyoming.
Bears are decimated. Jonathan Anderson, number 58, is in the game at linebacker, replacing Danny Trevathan. Holes everywhere on the Bears defense right now. 2 backup safeties, a new nickel corner. Trevathan, the ex-Denver Bronco, not on the field. And Philadelphia's got to stay on the gas.
6th play of the drive. They've already marched 54 yards on this possession. They lead 9-7 on 3 field goals. A floater for Nelson Aguilar down the sideline and bumped out of bounds by Tracy Porter.
I like what they did with Aguilar right there. He starts in motion like he's going to cross the formation on a reverse. And watch him go right back where he came from and fool Hall, the right corner. Nice design by the Eagles staff. They've got an excellent offensive staff. Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator. Let's see if they can punch it in. Chicago's been stingy here in the red zone.
2nd and 2. Straight ahead. Kenyon Barner, 3rd-year man out of Oregon, has the first down.
Last week against Cleveland, they used Bo Allen, a defensive lineman, as a fullback. They're going to stay with their normal grouping. You see Darren Sproles check in to the lineup with Ryan Matthews, 2 halfbacks. Don't be surprised if they spread them out.
First and goal, Philadelphia. The Eagles looking for their first touchdown of the night. Sproles the motion man. Ryan Matthews driven back, stayed on his feet and scores a touchdown for the Eagles.
The ex-San Diego Charger runs it with authority. He is stuffed at the line of scrimmage, keeps his feet alive, and bounces it to the outside for 6.
Big missed tackle by Willie Young.
A lot of good stuff here by Ryan Matthews. Philadelphia has a lot of weapons. We've seen Sproles, we've seen Barner, we've seen Smallwood, and here's Matthews with a beautiful goal line touchdown run.
His 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. 8 plays, 68 yards, 4.5 more minutes in time of possession. Matthews the 3-yard touchdown run, and the extra point just good by Caleb Sturgis. And that's a big extra point. Makes it a 9-point game. 2 scores up are the Eagles. The NFL recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the history, culture, and tradition of Latinos. Visit NFL.com/Hispanic Heritage to view unique stories, features, and contents. Chicago Bears have done studies of 14% of their fan base, those who watch and listen to 10 games, are Hispanic. Games broadcast in Spanish here in Chicago. More than 2 million Latinos in the Chicagoland area. Caleb Sturgis, the training staff was stretching him during the timeout. He was flat on his back. The kickoff was decent. Deontay Thompson brought it back to the 24-yard line. And he's limping off a little bit. He hit a slice on the extra point that just did sneak in inside the upright. And you see a little tweak.
This is where I'm anxious to see Philadelphia. Carson Wentz has obviously gotten a lot of attention for how well he's played, but this defense has flown under the radar. They haven't given up many yards in these first 2 games.
Jay Cutler on first down, and interception picked off by Nigel Bradham inside the 10 and wrestled out of bounds inside the 2 by the center Cody Whitehair.
Jay Cutler with a bad decision. And Philadelphia's defense has played well 2 weeks in a row. Right side of your screen, Bradham. You're going to see a play action pass. Cutler under pressure makes a terrible decision, and I credit Jim Schwartz. The defense is fresher than they've ever been, Sean. Last year they were on the field, I think, a world record amount of snaps. And with the time of possession that the Eagles have had on offense, this defense is fresh as a daisy, and they have dominated here in the second half.
So Cutler a lost fumble and now an interception. Philadelphia still has not turned it over in 2 games. Turnover free in the win against Cleveland. +2 in turnover margin tonight. Second career interception for Nigel Bradham, 5th-year man out of Florida State. On first and goal, Wentz to Trey Burton, flag down. He's in the end zone with a touchdown if it stands.
It's going to stand.
Offside. Defense number 74 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Who runs a play like this on first and goal? They have Matt Tobin in there as a tight end. They put Trey Burton in motion, and they throw a quick screen off a play action on the 2-yard line. How about that call? And Brent Selleck, longtime Philadelphia Eagle, at the point of attack, throws the key block.
First career touchdown reception for Trey Burton. Getting more opportunities tonight with the injury to Zach Ertz. Sturgis with the leg problem hits the upright with the extra point. Looked like it was his left hip, perhaps a glute, but he is clearly not well right now. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, John Sutcliffe back in Chicago. You're looking at Jay Cutler walking to the locker room. They've been looking at his right hand a few times when he's been on the sidelines. And after the bad interception that leads to a touchdown, he's on his way to the locker room. The backup is the veteran Brian Hoyer. Sturgis kicks off. Plenty of leg into that one, even though it does look like he's injured. So the injuries piling up for Chicago now on both sides of the ball. Here's Brian Hoyer making his Chicago debut. 8th-year man out of Michigan State.
I would not want to be Hoyer. Philadelphia has teed off, and with a 15-point lead in the 4th quarter, expect more of the same. Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator, Sean, he tells the defensive line, get up the field and mess up the play and let the linebackers clean up the second level. And, man, have they done that all night. Watch these front 4 tee off.
Hoyer, short throw. And a good catch made by Kevin White in traffic, just shy of the 30. We think this is where Cutler was injured on the play in which he fumbled.
I've been looking at his right hand, and he clearly hasn't been the same throwing the ball after that play.
Jeremy Langford, the inside handoff and a gain of a yard, taken down by Fletcher Cox and Benny Logan in the middle of that front 4. And it takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. quarter controlled by the Philadelphia Eagles, looking to go to 2-0 on the new season. Well, a moment ago, as we were away, the Chicago Bears called together by Coach John Fox and trying to fire each other up.
Got to get the offense in that huddle.
First play of the fourth quarter, 3rd down and 5 for the Bears, trailing 22-7 with the backup Brian Hoyer in at quarterback. Plenty of time and on target for a first down to Eddie Royal.
And they're going to get into the hurry-up offense. Sean Hoyer has been around the world in this league. He has a vast amount of experience, played extensively in the preseason. Let's see if young Kevin White and this offensive line can handle the Eagle pass rush.
Hoyer spent last year in Houston, where he started 9 games. They waived him when they acquired Brock Osweiler. On target again, and then Alshon Jeffrey got popped by Stephen Tulloch.
And Rodney McLeod had a beat on that. The ex-St. Louis Ram read Hoyer's eyes. Watch him flash and almost intercept this football. Great catch by Alshon. And Stephen Tulloch, another Jim Schwartz, former player, in on a hit.
Tulloch spent time with Jim Schwartz in Tennessee and in Detroit. 6 years combined with Jim Schwartz. Langford fumbles, and the Eagles have it again. The 3rd takeaway of the night for Philadelphia. Ron Brooks on the loose ball.
That's the first fumble of Jeremy Langford's career, and Vinnie Curry read that draw play like a book and stuffed it. What defense tonight by Philadelphia.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By NFLshop.com. Find the largest selection of NFL products at the official store of the NFL. And by Goodyear, tires chosen by experts for superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. Speaking of driven, how about the work ethic of our man, John Sutcliffe? He's here with us in Chicago tonight. This is on tape, obviously. In the ESPN studios in Mexico City, where NFL Live is produced daily, reaching approximately 17 million homes throughout Mexico. Ryan Matthews turns the corner for the Eagles, weaves his way through traffic, and has a first down and much more all the way to the 15-yard line. Finally chased down by Tracy Porter.
Good misdirection ball handling. Matthews is going to start to his right and cut it back to the left, and Chicago fails to set the edge. This play bounces to the outside. You see DeAndre Hall, the rookie corner. No match for Matthews. Excellent cutback running. And Ryan Matthews, former first-round pick of the San Diego Chargers, has run hot in the 4th quarter.
Darren Sproles gets the call after a 30-yard gain. They are now gouging this Chicago defense. He got popped out of bounds by Chris Brzezinski. 1st and goal, Philadelphia, about to salt it away early in the 4th quarter.
Lane Johnson, to me, is a big story in Philadelphia. Johnson, very athletic. He can pull the right tackle, number 65. He stumbles, but he recovers and sets the table for Sproles. Johnson facing a potential 10-game suspension. They're waiting on an appeals. And if they lose Johnson, it becomes a 2-position switch, and that's not good for Philadelphia. He's a good player.
Apparently failed the PED test for the 2nd time in his career. Already suspended for 4 games earlier in his career. They're testing the B sample. Penetration by Jarrell Freeman to dump Matthews for a loss back beyond the 5-yard line. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, like you said, he tested positive for banned peptides and requested that a 2nd sample be tested, and that's what they're waiting for right now for the results to come back. But we asked Doug Peterson, how long does that take? When do you expect to know something? It's already been over a month, and Peterson said, we haven't heard anything. I have absolutely no idea. He said, I honestly just don't know, and until he hears something official, Peterson says, Lane Johnson is my right tackle. Keep in mind, when the Eagles are notified of a suspension, if there is one, that Lane Johnson has the right to appeal that. And that process could take several weeks. So, Sean, is it better that Johnson is able to play for the Eagles now at the beginning of the season, or would it be better off if he had served a possible suspension and they get him at the end of the season? Who knows?
I'm playing him. Just like Coach Peterson, he might not be suspended at all. Puts the coaching staff, obviously the football team, in a tough position, because if Johnson were to be suspended, Alan Barber would go from left guard to right tackle. They'd have to find another left guard, change 2 positions, and that doesn't strengthen Philadelphia at either one of them. 2nd and goal. Keep an eye on Beckham. He's a massive target at the bottom of the screen.
Wentz throws the fade for Aguilar, and it's broken up by Tracy Porter.
It's a great play by Porter. Porter's the man that intercepted Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl for the decisive score when the Saints won the championship. Press coverage. You got to be able to find that ball in the blind spot. It's in the air. You got to be able to play through the receiver's hands, and that's a great job by Porter. Field goal is huge here. Got to be careful if you're Carson Wentz. You want this to become a 3-possession game at the least.
3rd and goal. Darren Sproles down to the 2.
I like that call.
It looks like they're going to leave the offense on the field and try to punch in a touchdown.
Well, I'd kick this if I were Doug Peterson. Make this an 18-point game. Make it a 3-possession game.
My question would be, is he worried about Sturgis?
I don't think he's worried about the Bears offense. I think that's what Coach Peterson is thinking here. He's going for it.
Sturgis appears to be injured. There's 4th and goal from the 2. Sproles puts his head down, surges to the goal line. And no indication of a touchdown. And Chicago takes over on downs. Are you surprised you're trying to jam it in the end zone with a 5'6", 190-pound running back?
I am indeed, especially the way Matthews had been running. I don't know if Coach Peterson went for that because of Sturgis.
Defense.
And the potential of an injury, but that's a play that breathes life into Chicago.
4 lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. It's still 4th down. Timeout.
You saw the flag, the official on the far side of the field. Sarah Thomas threw it, but it landed out of bounds. I don't think anybody saw it. There's an injured player, Eddie Goldman, down for Chicago, which takes us to the timeout with 11 minutes to go. By the way, Sarah Thomas, the only female on-the-field official in the National Football League, a product of Conference USA, where her supervisor and mentor, our man Jerry Austin, here in the booth, our rules expert.
And you know, Sean, I can't get over the amount of injuries that the Bears have had tonight.
We are going to step aside now. Another opportunity to punch it in for Peterson and the Eagles. Some of the fans filing out of Soldier Field. They're tired of leaving here after a Bears loss. 1-7 at home a year ago. 3-13 here the last 2 years. And the injuries continue to pile up for Chicago with Eddie Goldman, their 2nd-round pick out of Florida State a year ago, about to be carted off the field.
This is big. This is their starting nose tackle. Goldman had 4.5 sacks last year, and he's the anchor of the 3-4 defense. You lose both safeties. You lose your nickel corner. You lose your quarterback, your nose tackle, and Kadeem Carey, your backup halfback. There have been a lot of Bears go down tonight. Take a look at 91, see if you can see him. Looks like he gets twisted badly, and you hate to see that. He's worked so hard to lose 12 to 15 pounds, and John Fox can't believe his eyes. 4th and goal.
Well, at this note, the Eagles, 15 straight drives in which they've run a play from the opponent's 1-yard line. They have scored a touchdown. Only the Raiders have a longer current streak. When they get to the one, they punch it in, and that's why, part of the reason why Doug Peterson has the confidence to go for it here. Another chance on 4th down after the Bears were in the neutral zone on the last snap.
Give it to Matthews.
They pitch it back to Ryan Matthews, and he goes into the end zone untouched.
And came back to that jet sweep look. It looked like a jet sweep. They faked the jet sweep. They pitched the ball to Matthews, and their 8-time Pro Bowl left tackle, Jason Peters, is going to pull. But watch the motion come from left to right. They sell the jet sweep, and they run a flip out the back door. Is that nice? These last 2 touchdowns, Sean, there's some offensive creativity. A quick screen to Trey Burton at the 1-yard line off of play action. And now they fake a jet sweep, and they run a flip at the 1-yard line for Matthews. I'd like to see Doug Peterson's sideline shoot. This offense clearly resembles that of Andy Reid in Kansas City, where Doug Peterson grew his roots.
Sturgis, the extra point. No sign of physical distress there for the kicker. Well, they're enjoying this at Frank's Lounge in Fargo, North Dakota tonight. John Fox and the Chicago Bears about to go to 0-2 on the season, barring a remarkable turnaround in this one, and large concerns on the injury front as well. Jay Cutler, Adrian Amos, Bryce Callahan, Lamar Houston all out for the game. We just saw Eddie Goldman parted off, unlikely to return. Caleb Sturgis, short kickoff. Joshua Bellamy working hard to get to the 21. Tackled by Josh Huff. And before the injuries, the 53-man roster for the Bears, like a game of guess who. Just 20 of their players were drafted by the Bears. Only the New Orleans Saints, with 19, have fewer of their own draft picks on their team right now. Of those 20 were drafted by the Bears. Only Alshon Jeffrey was drafted prior to 2013. And for the Bears, that's the fewest number of their own draft picks picked before 2013 of any NFL team. They don't have a lot of guys who've been here for a while. Brian Hoyer to Zach Miller, who's driven back immediately by Ron Brooks with help from Jordan Hicks.
No continuity on this offensive line, and it shows. Josh Sitton just met his fellow teammates over the Labor Day weekend. They move Cody Whitehair, number 65, a rookie, to center days before the opening game. Sitton and Whitehair, they haven't been doing this in a Bear uniform ever. And Kyle Long's returning from an injury. You got a new right tackle from the Arizona Cardinals and Bobby Massey.
Hoyer flings it out wide. Jordan Howard. The 5th possession of the half for Chicago. In the previous 4, 3 turnovers committed by the Bears.
And the time of possession has been terribly in the favor of the Eagles 2 weeks in a row. But backup quarterback, new lineman, don't recognize this Bear team.
Jordan Howard again. He has the first down. He's given them a little juice tonight. The time of possession is interesting, Coach, largely because of the way they play with that very fast-paced offense under Chip Kelly. The last 3 seasons, they were last in the league in time of possession. Each of the 3 years, Chip really didn't care. He wanted to score as quickly as he could. Kevin White across midfield and down to the Philadelphia 48-yard line. Jordan Hicks the stop.
You know, Malcolm Jenkins told us last couple of years they haven't had a chance working against their offense to even communicate at all. But now they're able to recognize formations, communicate with one another, and eliminate the big plays. Remember, they gave up 36 touchdown passes.
Franchise record a year ago. Juggling catch made by Jordan Howard. Ron Brooks wrestles him down. Well, the defense with a chance to be much fresher than it was a year ago. A year ago, the Philadelphia defense was on the field for an average of 72 snaps per game. Most by far in the NFL. They were 28th in the league in scoring defense, 30th in total defense. Fletcher Cox played only 36 snaps last week. And they held the ball for 39 minutes against the Cleveland Browns. Jalen Mills takes down Alshon Jeffrey.
Fletcher Cox on the sideline. Normally, defensive linemen are jumping over the bench to get on the field to get after the quarterback, but they want Cox fresh. Week 9, week 13, week 14 in the money games.
Hoyer's 8 for 8. He's taking over for Cutler. He's 9 for 9. Zach Miller stood up and planted at the 20-yard line by Nigel Bradham.
Quick underneath passes against this zone defense. Philadelphia just keeping the ball in play. The only enemy is the clock.
Hoyer lofts one toward the end zone for Alshon Jeffrey, and he can't hang on. Might not have been in bounds anyway. Jalen Mills had the coverage for the Eagles.
Give Jalen Mills credit. You lose Leotis McKelvin, you get pressed into service as a rookie. You're out there covering Alshon Jeffrey in your first start on Monday Night Football. You got beat early on a double move. Jeffrey should have had that football, but you got to credit the confidence that Jim Schwartz has shown in their rookie left corner. He hasn't changed their game plan one bit with Mills.
And Jim Schwartz said there are other times over the years when you have an untested rookie in there you don't have confidence in. You do have to change the way you call the defense, but not with Mills. They brought pressure and the pass way too long. Mills again had the coverage.
That's just a terrible throw. These Bear fans can't believe what they're seeing.
There is a flag down in the end zone intended for White. The Eagles trying to convince the officials the ball was not catchable.
There's no pass interference on the play. The ball is uncatchable.
Well, it's
It'll be fourth down.
uncatchable. It was catchable in the stands. I mean, the ball lands 15 yards out of the field of play. You've got to give a guy a chance to make a play if you're going to make that attempt. And on 4th down and 1, once again, expect man-to-man coverage. Jeffrey at the top, Kevin White at the bottom of the screen.
4th and 1. Hoyer has to retreat. Fletcher Cox couldn't get him down. Now he just throws it up as a prayer and a battle in the end zone, and it's incomplete.
It's just the jump ball offense right now. That's about the only production that Coach Fox has seen from his offense in these first 2 regular season games. Low percentage football, and Philadelphia is all over Chicago.
Carson Wentz out of North Dakota State, the 2nd overall pick in this year's NFL draft behind Jared Goff. North Dakota State, an FCS program, formerly Division I AA, which was formed in 1978. He's the 5th first-round pick at quarterback out of 1AA. Doug Williams from Grambling, Phil Simms, Steve McNair, Joe Flacco. Morehead State, Alcorn State, Delaware, respectively, for Simms, McNair, and Flacco. And pretty good list to be on. 3 of those 4 won the Super Bowl. Steve McNair came within a yard of winning the Super Bowl with the Tennessee Titans. And Wentz lead the Eagles somewhere down the road to their first NFL championship since 1960.
You know what you love about Wentz? He's one of those quarterbacks, you grade the film. He comes into work and you grade him out at an 86%. He could care less about the 86%. He wants to study the 14%. And he wants to make every single correction. He's relentless. I couldn't get rid of him when I met him at the QB camp show that we did. He loves football, loves to compete. He's only going to get better. Can't tell you how impressed I am with what he's doing with this Eagle offense.
Well, they try to run out the clock. Ryan Matthews carried on 1st down.
Both start 64 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And Wentz is a good listener John, because one of the things you told him at the QB camp that he needed to work on was 2 hands on the football. You told him he needed to turn into a 2-handed monster, and when he saw you at the hotel last night, that was the first thing he said. He's become a 2-handed monster.
Yeah, he's becoming a monster, period. This young man, late bloomer, 1-year starter in high school, an incredible story.
Second and 16. Josh Huff, the receiver. Short gain on the play.
The 2-handed monster, you know, you got to keep 2 hands on the ball. See how he carried the ball at North Dakota State? He came into my Gruden's QB camp, and I said, you got to keep 2 hands on the ball. So we came up with a drill to get him to keep 2 hands on the ball. Here we are right here at Gruden's QB camp. We're working with Wentz. You take these noodles, and you get him to keep 2 hands on the ball in the pocket. See that, Sean? He's looking downfield just like he's done all night tonight.
Wait a minute.
I mean, you got to keep 2 hands on the ball.
That was unnecessary roughness.
It doesn't hurt. Just hold 2 hands on the ball.
You're not getting it out.
Oh,
These
see,
are strong hands.
2-handed monsters. He's a monster, period. I wish I had Carson Wentz when I coached. You have to credit this offensive staff, starting with Doug Peterson, the amount of trust that they have in this kid to let him do all he's done tonight at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 17. The handoff to Darren Sproles. The ball popped out after he was down. You could hear the whistles. Danny Trevathan made the tackle.
4th down.
Well, let's see if he has paid attention to your instruction. Look at that. 2-handed monster. 2 hands on the ball.
2 hands on the ball. How many turnovers has Philadelphia had in 2 weeks?
0.
With this young man? 0. Not many people can say that in pro football right now. He's a 2-handed monster. I don't know what kind of monster this young man is, but Philadelphia has a quarterback, and they're going to be a force to be dealt with. And once again, Sean, it's their defense that's flying under the radar. They have a very good front 7, and their young corner, Jalen Mills, stepped up tonight. And I love their veteran safeties. The addition of McLeod, Rodney McLeod, coming from St. Louis to team with Malcolm Jenkins. Philadelphia is much improved on both sides.
Eddie Royal back for the punt after Chicago timeout. With 5.5 to go, they're down by 22. Donnie Jones on the punt.
Better keep this ball outside the numbers. Don't let Royal do anything.
They come after Jones, and he just did get it off. And a good kick. Royal made the first man miss. Got away from Brent Selleck as well, and now he's picking up some blockers. Eddie Royal trying to get the Bears back in the game. Touchdown, Chicago. No flags on the play.
Why you would punt the ball to Eddie Royal in the middle of the field is beyond belief. I don't think it's going to matter, but when you give Eddie Royal the ball in the middle of the field, he can go anywhere he wants. And he is still a dynamic open field return specialist. And we needed some juice in the stadium for these Bear fans. But what a great job on the sideline by Eddie Royal, walking the chalk.
65-yard return for a touchdown for Eddie Royal, his 3rd career punt return for a score after a 53-yard punt. It is the first punt or kickoff return for a touchdown in the NFL this season. There weren't any of those in the last 3 weeks of last season. It's been a while since anybody's brought a kickback into the end zone.
Got to be ready for the onside kick.
Well, we started to mention earlier, it was a trying start to the season for Doug Peterson, his first year as a head coach in the NFL at age 48. After their last exhibition game against the Jets, he got a call from his mother in Monroe, Louisiana, that his dad, who had been ailing for a while, had just a day or two to live. He hurried home to Monroe, Louisiana the day after that exhibition game on the Friday, made it home in time to say goodbye to his dad. His dad passed away. And then the next day, he got a call from Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Eagles, that they had a chance to trade Sam Bradford to the Minnesota Vikings after the injury to Teddy Bridgewater. So there were a lot of conversations back and forth about that. When they decided to do it, Doug was trying to get a hold of Sam Bradford, who was slated to be their #1 quarterback. He also took time while he was home to go to his son's game at Louisiana Monroe. So it was a whirlwind opening weekend. They did not have a memorial service for his dad. They'll have that during the Eagles bye week. Gordon was 77 years old. Great influence on Doug his whole life. He was his Little League football coach. Doug wanted to be a wide receiver. His dad said, no, we don't have anybody who can throw a football. You're going to be a quarterback. And he was his entire life. Set up for the onside kick. And the Eagles take a timeout to make sure they are properly aligned. I was really impressed. I'd never met Doug Peterson until our conversation last night, John, and he is an impressive guy.
He certainly is. He played for Don Shula, helped Don Shula get the win to push him past George Hallis. Played for Mike Holmgren. He worked with Andy Reid, obviously, at Kansas City.
20 years in the NFL now, 12 as a quarterback, mostly as a backup. Well, he did start the first 9 games for Philadelphia in '99 before Donovan McNabb took over. Recent years assisting Andy Reid with the Eagles, the last 3 as the coordinator. Jeffrey Lurie introducing him as the head coach. And so far, so good. Barring a big problem here in the last 5:09, he's about to be 2-0. Only 1 out of 8 in his career. Successful onside kicks for Barth. Team operation. Well, that one had no chance. Brent Selleck.
Well, Andy Reid's had a lot to do with Doug Peterson. Just like when I was a young coach, somebody helped fast-track me. And when you look at the way the Eagles run their offense, the way they run their off-season program, the way they run their training camp, Andy Reid's fingerprints are all over this hire, and the way that they're doing business here is quite impressive. They're using every man on their roster. They're developing not only Carson Wentz, but they have another young quarterback, Aaron Murray, who played for Andy in Kansas City also. And it's funny, Nick Foles, the former Philadelphia Eagle quarterback, is in Kansas City with Andy again. So they're interlocked big time.
The Eagles did just about everything except win the Super Bowl under Andy Reid, and they've gone back to a formula that worked very well. With the exception, of course, of the big prize, which is what they're after more than anything else. Ryan Matthews dropped for a loss by Will Sutton. By the way, do you notice I'm still hanging on to the football, the two-handed monster?
I like that. DeAndre Hall, number 32, just punched Nelson Aguilar in a
That's not good.
ridiculous penalty.
I did figure one thing out today with this football that you were nice enough to give me. Ben McAdoo, the Giants coach yesterday.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 32 in the defense. Head slap. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Ben McAdoo, the 2-0 Giants now, said after the game, you got to protect the Duke. Got to take care of the Duke. And I was on our ESPN radio affiliate in New York City today. They asked me if I knew what that meant. And I didn't know what it meant, and now I do know, because the football, the Wilson football, is called the Duke.
You learn something every day.
Did you know that?
Sean. Yes, I did. I've handled a few of those Dukes in my day.
But now we know. They did not know in New York today. Oops, little dancing.
Boy, the Bears are not pleasing their head coach right
Neutral
now.
zone infraction. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I mean, you punch a guy after the whistle, and now you jump off sides. That's ridiculous.
7 Chicago penalties for John Fox in his second year here, 15th season as a head coach in the NFL. Took both Carolina and Denver to the Super Bowl without winning on either occasion. Darren Sproles around right end has a first down. Run down by Jarrell Freeman, and we'll tick under 4.5 minutes to go.
Darren Sproles, done it a long time, moving into the top 10. Career all-purpose yardage lists. A lot of weapons they have in Philadelphia. And remember, they're missing Zach Ertz, one of their best weapons tonight. I like watching Wentz in the huddle. He's got Jason Peters, Darren Sproles, Selleck, a lot of long-time NFL vets listening to a young quarterback. It's impressive.
Sproles ahead for 2.
Watch Carson Wentz in the huddle. All the things that need to be said in the huddle. You got to call the shift, call the formation, the motion. What play are we running? What snap count? You got to preview some reminders. And you got to say it with a certain tone. You got to speak in segments. You got to communicate. You got to enunciate, Sean. And this kid's been doing it 5 years at North Dakota State. And I keep bringing that program up. That program is special. You don't win 5 straight national titles by accident. And then they just got the biggest win in their program's history yesterday or Saturday, beating Iowa Hawkeyes at Iowa. There's a lot of good stuff going on, but this kid has the courage, has the charisma to get in that huddle as a young man with Lane Johnson, Darren Sproles, Selleck, tell them all what to do, and get them motivated. Every once in a while, you got to get after these guys. A lot of credibility he's earned tonight, 2 weeks in a row. Credit to him.
A lot of people said, well, it was Cleveland a week ago. Tonight on the road, Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. Boy, he's backed it up. You mentioned everything he has to do. How about Jordan Matthews told us about the change from Chip Kelly's offense to this one? He said last year we would look at the sideline at pictures and signs that would indicate the play. The plays might be one word. He said now our terminology, our plays are about 4 paragraphs long.
And I've seen 47 different formations. And Jordan Matthews, over his first 3 years, over 90% of the time he was in the slot. Now he's playing flanker. He's playing split end. He's going in motion. He's doing things and running patterns he's never run before. This offense suits the skill set of a lot of these Philadelphia Eagles.
Sproles in trouble and taken down by Jarrell Freeman.
There's one player that hasn't quit. Jarrell Freeman did it a long time in Indianapolis. He's going to run through, make a tackle for loss. Had 17 tackles last week against Houston. Never comes off the field. Over 100 tackles a year for 4 seasons at Indianapolis, and has quickly asserted himself as the leader of this defense.
Wearing number 50 that's familiar to Bear fans, Mike Singletary. Jarrell told us Mike gave him his blessing to wear that number. 3rd tackle for a loss tonight. Play clock taken all the way down by Carson Wentz. And now a timeout with 2:13 to go. As soon as we're finished here in Chicago at Sports Center at night with Scott Van Pelt, he'll have highlights and breakdowns of this game, a recap of the night in Major League Baseball, news from the World Cup of Hockey, big Canada-USA game coming up there tomorrow, and NFL injury update. Sports Center at night kicks off right after our game here on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Well, how about the NFC East? Redskins won it by 2 games at 9-7 last year over the Eagles, who were 7-9. Seems to be wide open again this year with the Giants off to a good start.
Well, 2 rookie quarterbacks are the headlines so far to me. Dak Prescott looks impressive to me 2 weeks in a row. Carson Wentz. It's a whole new ball game when you've got a young quarterback that everybody believes in. Credit Howie Roseman, the GM of Philadelphia, for having the courage and the guts to go up and get this young man.
On 4th and 6, Matthews got just to the line to make it and then got knocked back. And he's inbounds, and it looks like they're going to give him the favorable spot to have the first down. It takes us to the 2-minute warning. Wentz mania will continue at least for another week in Philadelphia. ESPN News is projecting the Philadelphia Eagles as the winner of tonight's game. And if that proves to be true, Carson Wentz will be the first rookie quarterback in the history of the NFL to start and win his team's first 2 games of the season, in which his team had no turnovers. You got to take care of the Duke, and he has done that 2 weeks in a row. It'll be just the second time in Eagles history that they will have started the season with 2 games, the first 2 games of the season with no turnovers. The only other time they played the first 2 with no turnovers was 1959.
And they're not just running a bunch of generic plays. I mean, Doug Peterson, he's running plays I've never seen before. A couple of them in the goal line.
It's a fresh start in Philadelphia and more than a 10-minute advantage in time of possession again tonight, engineered by Wentz.
Yeah, some of these plays, I got to get back to the office and diagram so I don't forget them. I can see why his jersey sales have skyrocketed. And remember, this might not happen if it hadn't been for the injury to Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
Look at some of these plays. Look at some of these. They got 3 tight ends. One of them is Matt Tobin. He's a tackle. They put Burton in motion, and they fake the ball one way and throw a quick screen at the 2-yard line. He walks in. Then they fake a jet sweep across the formation at the 1-yard line, and they flip it to Ryan Matthews with their left tackle, Jason Peters, pulling. Nobody runs those plays at the 1-yard line with a rookie quarterback until tonight. I like this team.
Yeah. 7-9 a year ago. And they won't have to snap it again. Carson Wentz threw for 190 yards and a touchdown. John Fox and the Bears 0-2. And they've now won just 1 of their last 12 home games here at Soldier Field. Final score is the Eagles 29 and the Bears 14. Stay tuned for the GMC postgame on SportsCenter coming up next. We'll be back in just a moment to reveal this week's choice for the Gruden Grinder. Thanks for watching Monday Night Football from Chicago.